Thank you so much, Aniket, for taking out the time, and thank you to the participants for joining today. Aniket, we'd love for you to introduce yourself, and then participants can prepare questions accordingly.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Aniket Bhatia. I am a senior investment analyst and portfolio specialist as asset management. I started my career as a corporate finance and relationship manager before my MBA. Then I did my MBA in finance from NMIMS Mumbai, and my first job was with ICICI Bank as a relationship manager for 3 years. Post that, I joined London Stock Exchange Group again as an account manager. It was a very similar to a relationship manager role. And after that, after 2 years of completing my journey with London Stock Exchange Group, I joined here on the buy side as a senior investment analyst and portfolio specialist. So yeah, that's been my journey.
All right, thank you so much, Aniket, for the introduction. So, to the participants, I would like to say please feel free to put in any queries that you have about how our roles in careers, or how is MBA life, or how does MBA help you to make a better career in finance. What are all the different diverse options available after doing MBA? So you can put in any queries that you have. Please feel free to put in the chat, and we'll have to take them up. We'll try to make the session as interactive as possible. So please put in any questions that you have. Meanwhile, Aniket, let me get started with some questions. So would start with, once you started your career just after MBA, so how was the role like? What were the roles and responsibilities that were part of your day-to-day work? What were some projects that you worked on?
Okay, so I started my career in relationship manager in ICICI Bank. So it was corporate banking profile. My role was to act as a relationship manager with companies like Reliance, Adani, the Tata holding company. So I had around 30 companies which I was managing. Now my job was to if they wanted any working capital, or they wanted any loan, or they wanted any disbursement. These were big companies. Okay, all of them had 1,000 crores plus as market cap. So these were fairly decently sized companies. I had to evaluate their balance sheets. Some of them were not even listed, like Geo Finance that time was not listed, and there are still companies, subsidiaries of Reliance, which are not listed yet. So I had to go through the balance sheets. I had to understand fundamentally whether if we do give them a loan, will they be able to repay it back to us? And according to that, go to the legal team and compliance team and make a contract for the loan, as well as decide the interest rate we'll be giving it to them. And then I acted as a relationship manager for these clients. I had to upsell and cross-sell products. When I mean by upsell and cross-sell products, I had to, try to also get salary accounts, try to also get the team involved for credit card disbursements, anything that could get more revenue to the bank, I had to do. That was my role as a relationship manager in ICICI. In London Stock Exchange was a very, very good profile to my heart. Like, it was something wherein I used my core finance degree, wherein I had to act as first a customer success manager and then as a relationship manager to clients from the buy side and sell side. Now, what do I mean by that? I had to go and show them the platform and show them how they can do fundamental analysis as well as technical analysis from on the platform. So I was managing around 650 clients and 56 accounts. And over the last 2 years, over the last 1.5 years in London Stock Exchange, first 3 to 6 months was a training period. Last 1.5 years, I trained around 1,400 people on fundamental and technical analysis. And then I've joined here as Ikigai as a senior investment analyst. Here, my role is to look at stocks on a technical basis and analyze them, as well as act as a portfolio specialist, wherein knowing where the fund is investing money and where there is more scope of getting more return for the investors. So that's been my journey. I also I will also be integrating into the role of sales very soon. Sales and relationship manager in my current profile, wherein I will be going and meeting our current investors as well as potential investors. So that's been my journey. It has always been a client-facing role, but always involved an element of finance. So one thing that I can give an advice to people is, in MBA colleges, right? You will not only find core finance roles like investment banking, equity research, or credit analysis. You will also find these kind of roles which will involve a mix of finance as well as relationship management.
So to the participants, I would like to say, if you have any specific questions regarding the rules that Aniket mentioned, please feel free to put in. We'll try to make it interactive. Meanwhile, Aniket, like, in the first role that you started off with the relationship management with banks, what is the biggest learning that you have? What took you by surprise that you didn't know before joining the role, and something that you came to know during the role that took you by surprise?
The pace of it. When you get when you join any bank, right? There are a lot of banks also which will come to MBA colleges, so it's very similar for all of them. I was in the placement committee in my college. I know that how many banks come in other colleges as well. So my friends went to the same thing that I'm about to tell you is the pace of it. Wherein when you just join fresh out of MBA, you've done all your financial products, projects. You think that you know fundamental analysis very well, you know credit analysis very well, and then suddenly there are a lot of intricacies involved. You need to prepare notes, you need to prepare good, I would say 30-40 pager notes, going deep diving in something that took me by surprise, because even if I thought that I've done the note making or I've built the models correctly, within 5 minutes my manager could spot if there is something wrong. So that was a learning experience. That is something that was a surprise.
Thanks a lot, Aniket. That's interesting to know. So, when you try to build these models, what goes through, what is exactly the process without describing any particular case, but giving an overview of how actually it is built?
Very honestly, before I joined the role, one advice I would give to people as well is to learn financial modeling and come. If you're going into any kind of finance role, having 2-3 skills are a paramount. One is your Excel and financial modeling, as well as presentation skills as well. So I had learned and went, but when I joined the bank, I realized they already have their models built in, and you have to put in the numbers, and then analysis is your job. So models are generally built in. Every company, bank will have their models built in. You have to understand and do the ratio analysis, as well as know your sector which you are covering. Like if I was covering the hotel industry, I needed to know what the hotel industry is doing. Or if I was covering the shoe manufacturing industry, I needed to know if there is more capex that is going to be built in, what impact will that have on the balance sheet in the next year. So this kind of learning you will only get by reading their annual reports and balance sheets. So yeah, that is something that I would like to highlight.
Yeah, thanks, Aniket. So, how did you get into finance roles, specifically this roles where relationship management is also involved, as you mentioned, apart from the traditional IB or other roles? How exactly is the process for these roles different during a placement at MBA, and how did you get into these roles?
Okay, so for relationship management roles, they will not only look at your finance skills, but they will also look at your people skills, how you're talking, how you're communicating. So the process for them will generally involve GD, and there they will try to, how does the person talk, his knowledge, and then a personal interview. So for the second year in finance companies, not every role requires a group discussion, but they'll mostly have personal interviews based on your CV. But a relationship manager role will always have a group discussion, because they want to see how you communicate with people, because this role will involve a lot of internal stakeholders as well as external stakeholders. So that's generally the process. One thing that I can advise if people are interested in getting this role, because when people join MBA, right, there is a lot of confusion whether they want to go for marketing or they want to go for finance. There's also an option, because some people are extroverted by nature, or they don't want only a desk job wherein making financial models and not meeting customers or not being a client facing. So that's where relationship manager roles opens up the door for you. I have moved industries. I've moved. Uh, I have basically switched industries in the last 3 years, in the last 5 years, and that has only been possible because I involved a role wherein it was core finance as well as a client facing element. So I think it's a very, very good role to take up.
Yeah, thanks, Aniket. So, during your MBA, what kind of preparation did you do that helped you get into such finance roles?
So there is this website. I will try to ping it to you after the MBA Universe. Okay, yeah, that's the name, MBA Universe, wherein they had a lot of group discussion topics, wherein there were current affair topics and group discussion topics. I went through them. I had an idea. I had a broader perspective of a lot of topics to cover. I studied under Hemang sir of IMS, so I had also taken his guidance. Even after I got in, I used to ask him, sir, where can I prepare from? So he was very helpful. I prepared for group discussions. I read a lot. Then my college was fortunate enough to give me access to Bloomberg Terminal. So I also used to go on Bloomberg, and I used to look at company fundamentals, their ratios. I used to try to see what's happening in the markets. The markets is something that helped me, keeping a track of markets, global economy, world economy, Indian economy, what's happening. That really helped me to crack my group discussion phase. And personal interview phase, you need to be prepared with your financial ratios. You need to be with your models, what you've done in your internships, what projects you worked on. So I had also cleared my level 1 by that time. So what are the learnings I got from there, as well as how did I apply them in the projects which I did. One thing that I would advise is whenever people are joining MBA, right, before the first internship process starts, try to get some corporate projects or try to get some small internships before the same. That will really, really become a talking point in your interviews.
Thanks a lot, Aniket. And would like to know about your internship process. How did that look like? And if it was finance specific, then was the preparation for that different than the placement process?
No, it's pretty much the same. It's just that in finance, how do I describe it? So for marketing roles, generally what happens is, there's a lot of chaos in the group discussions. In finance, it's much more sober. Where in group discussions, they want to talk about, they want to talk calmly and they want to make some good points, economic related points. So I was fortunate enough to also be in Phenomenon, that is the finance committee in my college, NMIMS. So they helped a lot. There used to be a lot of group discussions. There were around 70 people who were selected in that committee. 70 or I don't remember, 40 people. I'm forgetting. But we used to have internal group discussions. One thing that I can advise is make your internal groups. Okay, in MBA, whenever you go, make your groups and then have logical discussions, have group discussions. That will help you crack the interviews.
Thank you so much, Aniket. Would like to know more about your MBA life. How was it, and how has it been transformative in your career? And also, what kind of personal growth do you see in terms of being able to put across your points in a more structured way or something else? What kind of growth that you see before joining MBA versus after joining MBA that helped in your career?
Yeah, sure. So my MBA journey was fantastic. I was fortunate enough to have a very, very good, stable MBA life. Maybe that's also because I was in my hometown. My MBA journey involved the first 6 months in any MBA. You pick any college, you pick the top IIMs, you pick any tier 1, tier 2 colleges. It'll be very, very stressful, very, very hectic. It will be a cultural shift. Okay, but grind it out and be ready for it. One thing that I can say is be ready for the same. For me, I was not used to having exams on back-to-back days or two exams on a day. So that was something which was a culture shock in the first 6 months, but then you get used to the pace. Okay, so that was hectic. I made a lot of friends. I networked a lot. I was fortunate enough to be in a college which had around 500, 600 students. I networked a lot, and this really, really helps. Once your MBA journey is over, your friends, your networks will help you get further in your career. My second company, which I switched into, I was referred to by my friend who was working there. So this really, really helps, and that's the only way you can, you all can grow together. That was my MBA journey was very, very good. I had a lot of learnings. I also was fortunate enough to go for the foreign exchange program. I would really recommend it to people. My learnings grew exponentially by that. I was there for around one trimester. I went for 4 months. So that was also a fantastic, beautiful part of my journey. And how it has helped me pre and post MBA. Pre MBA, I came from a company secretary and law background. I was a CSN lawyer, so my learning was very theoretical. I had the knowledge, but learning was very theoretical. After MBA, I am extrovert by nature, so but I have seen people who were not so extroverted become extroverted after MBA because it makes you like that. You have to talk to so many people. I've seen people really, really transform. Okay, they become much more open. They understand different cultures. When you are coming from when you are in your hometown or you're in one confined space, right? When you see people from different cultures, different backgrounds, you start understanding, and that really helps you grow. So that was one growth which I had. I really like MBA as a degree. I think it is fantastically made. The subjects which you choose are very, very important. I was very, very selective in my subjects. I wanted to learn finance, but I also wanted some elements of, a relationship management profile. So I chose my subjects accordingly. So that is something which helped me. Yeah, I think it was fantastic those 2 years.
Thank you so much for mentioning about that. That's really very cool. So there's a question that we have from a participant. So somebody who's confused about making a career in finance or marketing, how do they resolve?
Okay, so I'll answer both the question. There's also a question on project financing. Between marketing and finance, I would say when you go inside, right, after your first trimester, just see what are you more comfortable with, and see the career that you want to, have. You envision yourself for the next 20 years, because it gets very difficult to switch careers. It's not impossible. I have seen people move from finance to marketing. I've seen people move from marketing to finance. I've seen people move from finance to HR and marketing to HR. So please don't think that if you don't take the right decision, you will be trapped for life. It's not, it doesn't work like that. Wherever, even if you make the wrong decision here, if you're not sure, you can change your career later on. But how do you decide? You decide what do you envision yourself as. Suppose if you are somebody who are passionate about sales, you can work under pressure, who you can, you are generally somebody who likes to be on the go. I would say sales and marketing is something that you can look at. If you are somebody who is more number crunching oriented, somebody who likes numbers, who likes the markets, who likes making models, or who would prefer having a desk job, or who would prefer knowing companies inside out. Okay, I think finance would be a better bet. And somebody who is confused or likes a mix of both, like me, you can go for relationship management jobs, because they will involve both elements. And project finance, and then project financing, sorry, project financing. See, for project financing, try to learn corporate finance, as well as try to pick up role for project finance. Okay, because project financing will involve a lot of accounting knowledge as well. Okay, try to get internships or some corporate projects in project finance. And you know what, a lot of people don't understand, or say that, where do I get the corporate projects from? Start cold mailing, start reaching out to people on LinkedIn. Say that, listen, I just need experience. You want, if you want to pay me, you pay me a minuscule amount, or don't pay me, but I want this project finance experience. Can I do something for you? I'm telling you, people are very, very helpful on LinkedIn. They will reach out, they will respond, they will say, if they don't know anyone, they will refer you to someone. So start doing that, try to get that experience, and then look to get into project finance. It's not a difficult profile to get into. Whatever profile you get into in finance, okay, after your MBA also, if you apply smartly, you will get into project finance.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aniket. So the next question is around getting into these MBA colleges. What kind of preparation to do? So there's somebody who's from a testing profile, which is a very different profile from, let's say, a finance profile, and it's a technical role. So what kind of questions would they likely to face in the interviews that they give for MBA entrance?
Sure. So, MBA entrance, they will ask you, what is your reason for doing an MBA? You were in this role. What is the reason for the same? They just want to see your aptitude and reason. Okay. They all know that MBA, why do people do MBA? For career growth? Everyone is aware of that, but they will want you to see how much clarity do you have. Suppose if you are from testing profile, you can say that, I worked in this profile, but I don't see myself in this profile for the next 20 years. I want to get into marketing, or I want to get into finance. And that's why I think this is the best age for me to do an MBA. Trust me, I've even seen people with 28, 29 come into Indian MBA colleges. Okay. I've seen people as like I've seen people who are 32 also in some colleges. Okay. So you can just tell that you are looking for a career switch. I've seen people do a double MBA as well. There are lots of types of people out there, and their goals are very, very different. Somebody who did MBA finance thought that, this is not the right one for me, went and did MBA marketing abroad. So this is very, very common. They understand that these things happen. They will just see your reasoning and your thought clarity. That's it. So you can get into it. If you're on testing profile, and you suppose, for example, you want to get into finance, try to show aptitude towards finance. Try to do some courses. Try to maybe register for CFA. Try to register for some online courses in whatever platform. There are so many, Finvesta, a lot of courses online available right now. Try to show aptitude towards the same.
Would like to know how was your interview process while you were giving the MBA entrance interview, and for different IIMs, how did your interview process go like?
Can you repeat? How was my interview process? And before that, what did you say?
So for different colleges, how was the interview process different, and what kind of preparation strategies that did you use that time to cover everything, cover the current
Okay,
affairs?
got it.
Exactly.
So I chose NMAT. I had topped NMAT when I was preparing for my entrance exams. I chose NMAT because for me it was the most logical. Then I wanted to be connected to my college after I even move out of it. NMIMS is actually 5 minutes away from where I stay, and it has a very good infrastructure. So I found it the most logical for me. I gave CAT as well as I gave CET. CAT, the colleges which I was giving, which I was getting, were not meeting my goals. My long term goal was to stay in my hometown. So for me, NMIMS made the most sense. How did I prepare for CAT and how did I prepare for NMAT and CET? The preparations are slightly different for every exams. For CAT, it will be more quant focused. Okay, your quant is really heavy in CAT, and the mocks, the mocks of IMS, there are multiple mocks that you can give. The mock scores will be bad in the start, but they will keep improving as you reach closer. I give myself 1 year to prepare. As you reach closer to your exam, they will start improving. One strategy that worked for me is 2 months before CAT, I had my NMAT exam. I 15 days I only dedicated to NMAT. Okay, nothing else. No CAT mocks, nothing. I only gave mocks. I gave around 10 mocks for NMAT, and that helped me clear. What I used to do is one strategy that I can suggest to people is which worked for me is when I used to give a mock, right, I used to analyze it for 2 hours. Then I used to make a notebook and write the questions which I'm getting wrong. Instead of a notebook, what then I found more sense is to make a Word file, screenshot all the questions that you're getting wrong, and then make a list of that Word file. Then second mock, do the same for next wrong questions. Third mock, do the same. Before the next mocks, right, just keep on reviewing this file. Just keep on reviewing all your wrong questions. Trust me, when you're actually going for the exams, right, similar type of questions come, you'll understand that where you're genuinely going wrong, generally going wrong, and then you can avoid those mistakes. So that is something really that helped me. Yeah, I and practice is something that you really need to do. Also for the English portion of things, right? I used to go through 30 words a day. I used to memorize 30 words a day. There was a list of 1,000 words that I needed to know. So that really helped me in my comprehension and reading skills. So yeah, those are some tips. And NMAT is a very fast-based exam. A CAT also sometimes CAT throws you off guard. Okay, I've given CAT twice in my life. Once casually and once was my serious attempt. One thing is. Whenever you're getting options to go for mocks, right, from IMS or anywhere, okay, go and physically give the mocks because the whole atmosphere you need to be used to that. I will overwhelm. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the useful tips. So, would like to know what challenges did you face during your MBA, 2 year MBA, and what is some advice if you were to look back at yourself that you had that you would like to share with people who are going to join and do MBA right now? What is something that you feel you should have avoided so it would help the students who are going to do MBA?
Challenges, very fast paced. I'm telling you, I was really thrown off guard in my first trimester. So if you are not prepared, right, your CGPA can get affected. It I had to play catch up for the next 5 trimesters to cover up for the CGPA in the first trimester because it really the pace threw me off guard. One thing that I would have done differently is in the first trimester there'll be a lot of stress. There'll be a trimester semester there'll be a lot of stress of placements. Trust me, coming from someone who's cleared MBA, who's now 5 years post MBA, everyone will get jobs, everyone will get placed, whether not in your best placements or not in your best companies that you're looking for, but subsequently everyone gets to where they want to go or where they're capable of. I've seen people go from startups, okay, who were not really nicely placed in their MBA in our MBA batch, have joined Google now. Okay, and this is a trend I've seen. It's just not one two people. We had a batch of 600. I've seen everyone do really well for their cells if they were capable, and just for whatever reason, there'll be a lot of reasons not in your control wherein you might not get the best placement. So don't get disheartened. Don't take stress of it. There is no point of having a dream company or I really want to get into it, because if it happens, good. Having a goal is good, but sometimes there are multiple other reasons or factors where you can't get into that. But keep your goal. If you're suppose there were a lot of people who had their dream company of Goldman Sachs, so their dream company goal of JP Morgan. If they didn't get it in MBA, I'm telling you, within 2 years post their MBA, they've gotten it. So one thing I would have done differently is don't take stress about placements. Be prepared for the pace in the first trimester and plan well. There are a lot of people who will be doing competitive exams around you. Okay, if it aligns with your goals, then do it. Otherwise, no. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Aniket, for that. So, would like to know from your own personal experience, how do you feel one should navigate the MBA life? Like, for example, since it is so hectic, how do you manage academics as well as give time to, let's say, clubs, as well as give time to sports or other activities, participate in case study competitions? Because how do you optimize all this for what actually is important? How do you prioritize?
Telling you do everything. Case study competitions is an experience. I'm telling you, it's really, you will miss this when your MBA life gets over. Okay, and plus, trust me, a lot of corporates also have some these kind of case study competitions or some competitions going on. So it's an experience. Do participate in competitions. Okay, don't get obsessed over it. There were people who used to get obsessed over it, wherein if they were not winning, they were really obsessed that why am I not winning, or they were like, just do it for the experience. If you win, if you are, so I was lucky enough to win a competition. Okay, and I had got a placement interview from the same. If you, but the goal should not be just to win. The goal should be to learn from the experience. That is one. Uh, the MBA life is hectic in the first year. Second year will not be that hectic at all. Okay, so go through that, go through the grind, and make friends, build networks. Okay, I've seen some beautiful friendships made in MBA, who are like, you will be making, I think, probably, okay, this would be the last time wherein you'll be this can be your last degree. Okay, unless some people go for a second MBA or anything. So make friends, build a good network. The most important thing in MBA is building a network. You do MBA for a network. People miss that. People treat MBA like a placement agency wherein you're going there to get a higher package job. You will get that job. But what after that? Okay. So build network, build really close friends. Go on trips, try to go for the foreign exchange program. I'm telling you, that's the best experience that I had. And yeah, that's how you navigate it and help each other. Okay, there will be a lot of exams wherein it might not be your strength. Like I did not understand IT exams at all. Okay, if I did not have a few friends to help me through those exams, preparing, not preparing for those exams, I would have not cleared them. So please build friends and help each other out. They will not understand finance at all, so help them. The marketing students will not understand debit what comes in, credit what goes out, so help them. So, and you will not understand Porter's five forces very easily, so help each other, build a network, and yeah, that's how you will navigate through.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aniket. That's really wonderful, building genuine, meaningful connections. So, would like to know, since you mentioned foreign exchange program, if you have been there, would like to know what is your experience of it. Frankly, how is the academics different from here, and what other learnings do you have?
Okay, it was fabulous. I met people from, firstly, I'll tell you, a lot of other MBA colleges, a lot of MBA colleges offer a foreign exchange program. And whoever has gone for the program, right, not a single person has regretted it, not one person. I have seen people from IIM Calcutta go for it, from IFT, Delhi, IFT Calcutta go for it. I've seen people from IIM Ahmedabad go from it. Nobody regrets it. Okay. How is the learning different? The learning is more case study based. Okay, much more case study based, and they don't focus so much on exams. There are exams, but they don't focus so much on exams. They focus on working as a team, working as a group, and there are a lot of open book exams. That was something that was very different from the Indian way of how we look at exams. Then I met a lot of different cultures, met a lot of different people from different countries, and yeah, there was cross cultural learning. You become more open minded, you become more open to how the world is functioning. Okay, they're very different. Okay, people out there, but it's really good to have that experience on your CV. Trust me, it also can become a talking point in your interviews going forward. In both my interviews, when I was joining ICSI and when I was joining London Stock Exchange, the foreign exchange program became at least 10 minutes of my interview process. They wanted to know what I did of it, and what experience I gained. I gave you a very short answer, but yeah.
Meanwhile, Aniket would love to know more about your London Stock Exchange role that you had. I think we didn't get time to cover that in detail. You had touched upon it in brief, but would love to know how was that role different from your previous role and what was interesting projects that you worked on during that time.
Sure. So the relationship management role in ICSI and customer success and sales and account management role at London Stock Exchange were the common part was I was client facing more often than not. In relationship management role, ICICI, I was going and meeting CXO level, CXOs, CFOs, okay. And in London Stock Exchange, I was going and meeting the users, the investment bankers, the equity research analysts, the fund managers, and I was teaching them how to look at fundamental analysis and technical analysis on the platform. London Stock Exchange is a data analytics product. It was earlier known as Thomson Reuters, got taken over by Refinitiv, and that got taken over by London Stock Exchange. So it's become London Stock Exchange Group. It's very similar to a Bloomberg. A Bloomberg is a analytics platform. Refinitiv and LSEC is an analytics platform. I was given a 3 months training of understanding the platform, and then I had to go and teach the platform to buy side and sell side clients. So I'm also a technical analyst. I have done my CMT. So I became an expert in that domain profile. I traveled pan India to teach technical analysis to clients. As I told you last year, I taught 1,400 people. What my role was basically as a CSM. I used to go to clients, make sure that they're using the products, make sure that they do not give any cancellation. Okay. I try to upsell and cross-sell products, try to buy more, try to get them to take more products which we have. We have multiple products, try to get them to take more products. And I did really, really well for myself there. I got the best employer of the year from India. And as part of that, that was around 1% of the entire company strength. So we have around 25,000 plus company employees. I ranked in the top 1% for two things. I got the most number of IDs into the system, as well as I saved the most cancellations, wherein people had declared cancellation. They don't want to pick up product, and I saved those cancellations. So as part of that, the company took me out it was a SaaS company. So they took me out on a trip to Morocco. Basically, that's not the point of the story. The point of the story was my role was something which I am really, really good at. That is talking to people or communicating or being client facing. Okay. So if you get into a job wherein you are really, really passionate about, or it aligns with your core strength in dramatic fashion, it's your ikigai where I'm currently working. Ikigai means knowing yourself and getting paid for it. So if you try to get into a job like that, you will really, really do well. So yeah, that was my journey in LSEC.
Yeah, and as you mentioned about Ikigai and knowing yourself, I think there's a question in the chat about that by a participant to how to know oneself well, if you would like to take that up.
Yeah, sure. See, it's okay to be confused. I didn't read the whole question because I was talking to you that time. I actually got distracted during the question. So it's okay to be confused. Everyone is confused. Not everyone is expressive about it. Everyone is not sure what they're doing or where their career is going, or what is the right decision for them. Anyone who looks sure, they also might have their doubts. So it's completely fine. One thing that really helped me was I used to talk to a lot of mentors. When you go inside MBA, or even if you don't get into MBA, just try to find mentors. You will find good mentors in your life. Some people are really, really very helpful. They will want you to succeed, and they've gone through the same journey as you might be going through right now. So try to take advice from them. Try to learn from their experience. One thing that I used to do really good at was I used to go and trouble a lot of people that, hey, listen, I'm confused about this. What's your opinion? Okay. Out of 10, 5 people might get irritated with you, but 5 people will generally help you, and 2 will give you advice which might just change your life. So go and try to talk to people, reach out to people, reach out to them on LinkedIn, reach out to them, to your seniors, reach out to your professors, and they might help you with your confusion. Ultimate decision will be yours, but they might give you a perspective because of a lack of experience, you're not being able to see right.
Yeah, thanks, Aniket. That's wonderful. Would love to know what kind of books you would recommend to somebody, what kind of books have touched you, and if there's something you would like to share that you feel are great books and everyone should read them.
One is the other one I would say is Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay, I really like that book. It was one of the first. It might sound cliche, but it was one of the first books that I read when I was getting into self-help genre. I've read more than 50 books, but I'm telling you, start with that book. It really gives you a perspective of what is actually an asset and what is a liability, and how to see the world very differently. Okay, there might be few things outdated in that. Don't get into that. Try to understand the concept that they're trying to tell you. Then one book which I really liked was Power of Now, something that I really, really enjoyed. Okay. Power of Subconscious Mind was also a really, really good book. I'll tell you something. It really worked for me. There are the few people here can learn from this is if you don't believe in manifesting, right, just try doing it. Try doing it. Power of Subconscious Mind. was a book that really helped me understand that concept, and it really works. I'm telling you, I've seen it in my life. Try to Power of Now and Power of Subconscious Mind teach you two different things. Power of Subconscious Mind teaches you manifesting, and how your subconscious mind is stronger than your conscious, as well as Power of Now teaches you discipline. Okay, so there was a phase in my life where I wanted to get things done. Power of Now taught me a method of how to document your progress, and then if you're deviating from your progress, just make a note of it. The moment you start documenting your progress, right, you will not want to deviate. So discipline will be important, and that's what I got from the book. So these are some 3 4 books which I really really liked.
Thank you so much, Aniket. That's, I think, very, very insightful. So, would like to tell the participants if there's some last questions, since Aniket also has another session at 12. We would like to cover that up. So, please feel free to put in any questions that you have, you feel is not covered right now, and we can take one last question. So, meanwhile, Aniket, from your experience, what kind of advice would you like to give to people in general who are going to start their career soon or to enter into MBA? Meanwhile, we will wait if participants have any other question.
You're about to start your MBA journey, but it's not started yet. I think there's a lot of preparation going on now. A lot of the exams are starting in 2 months. One advice is forget everything else. Forget everything. If you're working, start taking. I'm giving you small tips. Start taking your Fridays off. Prepare on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you're working, Monday to Thursday, you are already in your job. And start preparing. If you are not, if you're a student right now, you have that advantage right now of giving more number of hours. Give the maximum number of hours you can. Okay, get into the best kind of college that you can, because I'm telling you, your college does really make a difference. Okay, not putting any pressure, but you have these 2 months to give it your best. Be disciplined. Okay, forget all the parties for these 2 months. Forget about everything else in the world right now. Prepare, and once your career starts, enjoy the journey. You will not get these years back. Okay, I would love to go back to 2017-19 when I was in MBA. I would love to enjoy much more. I used to take a lot of stress and tension about placements, jobs, career, what will happen. Everything worked out. Everything worked out for the best. Okay, it worked out to the best for everyone else. The one advice that I can give you is, it doesn't matter how intelligent you are, it doesn't matter what kind of background that you come from, nothing matters. The only thing that will define your career and your life journey is common sense. If you have common sense, right, I'm telling you, it's just an important tip. If you have common sense, if you do your investments right, if you do your savings properly, if you plan your career well, okay, you will do well for yourself. Don't take stress. Sabka sab ho jata hai. If you don't clear MBA right now, you will clear next year. Okay, when I gave my first attempt, I did not clear. I only studied for 3 months. Nahi hua tha. 2 or 3 months, I did not clear. I gave it in the next year. I'm fine, right? Kya hua? 1 year doesn't make a difference. So yeah, that was one advice.
Thank you so much, Aniket. So I think in the interest of time, we
Yeah.
can end the session. But thanks a lot, Aniket. It has been very wonderful, very insightful and helpful to bring in the perspectives that you have and sharing that genuinely across for the benefit of everyone out there. This has been an amazing experience hosting you. Thank you so much for doing that. And thank you to all the participants. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And best of luck for your journey. Bye.
You take care. Bye.